Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so thankful for you being here. My name is Holly Burby. I am an emotional intelligence coach, and I'm here today to talk with you about the specific area of emotional intelligence called your self-awareness. And more specifically, the topic I want to touch base on with you today is when do you know it is the right time to let something go out of your life? And when I say let something go, what I'm referring to is something like a commitment that you have, a hobby that you have, a relationship or a friendship that you have, some commitment that you have had for some significant amount of time that up until a certain point was bringing you joy or pleasure or a payoff. So, what is that moment and what does this have to do with self awareness to begin with? So let's start with a quick reminder of what self awareness is. Self awareness is one of the branches of emotional intelligence, and self awareness ultimately means that you are aware of your thoughts, your emotions, and your motivations. I'm going to touch base specifically on the motivation part because I think whether or not you are motivated to hold on to something or not, that might not be a good enough measure to help you decide to make the jump or release something from your life. So let's break this down and I'll tell you where this story ultimately came from. My best friend and I have had a group coaching program for a really long time, and we loved working with these women. And my best friend recently had her second child and is on maternity leave and decided, you know what, we will do the one group coaching call. And in the middle of that coaching call, because her husband was working with their toddler at the time, putting the toddler to bed, the baby was on the call with us. And so my friend was on mute and we were handling the call and doing what we needed to do to support our clients and our group. And it turned out to be a really great call and put a great example out there of this point I'm about to make to you now. And after the fact, a couple days later, she contacts me and she says, I have a new awareness about myself, what I need, what motivates me, and something has to change. Meaning, she wanted to run the idea by me of should we let go of this particular group coaching program? Up until this point, we were motivated. We were both self aware that we were motivated to keep this program up and running and supporting the women every month in this platform. We had great conversations, the feedback that we were getting about the depth of the course that the content we were putting out there, and all the great advice that was going back and forth and the great coaching. There was a lot of benefit to it. There was, again, there was a payoff, there was a pleasure. We really enjoyed doing it, and our motivation came from purely being in service to the women that showed up every single month. However, life shifted. Now, even though my friend was, yes, pregnant with the baby for 9, almost 10 months, and kind of saw this coming, it wasn't until the actual moment we were on the call that she recognized in her self awareness what her emotional state was of being stressed, of having a feeling of I'm out of control and I'm already utilizing all of my support systems. Now, what do I do? She was able to be aware of her emotional state in that moment. And when she weighed out the two, when she weighed out the motivation that she and I have had up until this point to continue to host this call against the state of her emotions and her mindset in that moment while actually trying to get it done, she was able to prioritize and make a choice to only say goodbye to, clearly not her child, said goodbye to the coaching program. Now, as her business partner, she contacted me. I said, this is absolutely great because I was thinking something very similar because there are other local projects in my community I've been working on recently, and that is demanding more of my time and more of my attention. So, yes, this has to do with your emotional intelligence. Are you aware of your emotions in the moment? Are you aware of your needs and of your desires? Because they're two different things. And my friend in this case was recognizing she had a need to ensure that everyone in her family was taken care of, including herself, right? Her children, yes, her husband, yes, and herself. So that was really important. But second to that, sometimes we do know what we emotionally need, but we are not being completely honest with ourselves as to whether we are addressing it or doing something about it. And because she and I teach emotional intelligence and so many other things, we knew, all right, if this is how we feel, we're going to let something go so that we can reprioritize on what really matters. So our motivation is now not only coming from being in service to people, but now the motivation in this example is she can be in service to her family, she can be in service to her mental health. I can be in service to the local communities, the local groups, the local organizations that I'm now supporting with emotional intelligence. And this is just a lesson and an example that it's so important that we all have honest recognition of what is our emotional state in this moment and can I do something about it? And oftentimes people will recognize, yes, I can do something about it. And they get stuck and don't know how to communicate that need. They don't have the vocabulary to express the emotion that they are experiencing in that moment. And that is also an example of emotional intelligence, our ability to manage our relationship with other people and express what it is we need, what is it we want, what kind of support do we require in that moment, what is not exactly mandatory in the moment, all part of emotional intelligence. And so that is the lesson I have for you today. It's again comes down to when you're making that decision of should I let something go from my life, this friend, this job, this commitment. It's not only about how the other person is going to feel as a result. You've got to be crystal clear on what is your emotional and mental state. Be honest with yourself about it. Ask yourself, am I utilizing every form of support that I could to make my current situation improve? And if the answer is yes, you've already done all of those things and you're still not receiving a payoff or feeling motivated to continue it, then it's likely time to let go of that thing. The things that we invest our emotions into, our time into, our energy into in our life, those are all things that should have a return on that investment. You should be receiving that positive energy, good feeling, good vibe back from other people, that sense of fulfillment, that sense of pride, whether it's a tangible result or an emotional result. If the ROI, if the return on the investment is no longer there, it might be time to check in with your emotional state and go through the steps that I just listed. Again, thank you so much for being here. Please subscribe to this channel. There's a little button down here below. I really appreciate you tuning in. Click the notification bell so you don't miss another episode about emotional intelligence and the toolbox that will help you to master those skills. And until next time, we'll talk to you next time. Bye.